Well, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director of Network Expansion for Avoya Travel. And as always, we very much appreciate your time for tuning in and engaging with our weekly show. And we have a great show lined up for you today, including introducing you to a special new guest to On Deck with Avoya in our Meet the Team segment. Sarah Rich, Strategic Partnerships Manager, will be joining us for a Q&A about her role with the company and why relationships matter more now than ever. Thankfully, the relationships that Avoya Travel has with the industry's elite vendors is top-notch and a real differentiator between our shared success model and what other hosts and franchise companies are able to offer. And I look forward to our deep dive into the subject with Sarah here in just a few minutes. Before that, like we do every week here on Deck with Avoya, we'll touch base on the industry headlines and our Eye on the Industry feature. And this week, we continue to follow the latest with Crystal Cruises, as yet sadly another ship was detoured to the Bahamas. Major travel associations urged the Biden administration to follow the UK's lead on COVID testing for international travelers. We've got good news out of Greece. They saw a big bounce in the economy last year because of tourism, and they're forecasting an even bigger bounce for 2022. And we'll take a moment, if you don't mind, to brag about the latest award bestowed on Avoya Travel. All of that coming up in just a moment. We're also going to feature our exclusive pre-Cruise 360 network event. It's your chance to meet the members of the Avoya executive team, members of the Avoya Travel Network, and your chance to network in a small group setting with some of the industry's top vendors. And finally, we'll highlight our resources for both a new-to-travel professional as well as an experienced agent and provide all of our contact details so we can always stay in touch. And we do this all in the hopes of sparking your interest to find out more, to explore what makes Avoya Travel different and unique, and see if it's a good fit for your business. Our network expansion specialists can't wait to share details of our best-in-class resources with you. So with that said, it's time to kick off this week's On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update with some industry insights and our Eye on the Industry feature. Well, like I said, sadly, Crystal Cruise remains in the news as yet another ship was detoured to the Bahamas and clients once again ferried back to Florida. This time it was the Crystal Serenity. It cut short its worldwide cruise, pretty short actually, after being denied entry into Aruba. The ship then diverted to the Bahamas to avoid having the ship confiscated should it enter U.S. waters. Clients then had to be ferried from Bimini back to Port Everglades. I mean, I know this is Groundhog Week, but this seems a lot like the movie. You know, we're just repeating what we did last week, sadly. It all stems from financial issues with Crystal's parent company, Genting Hong Kong, and a reported unpaid fuel bill that's in the millions. Crystal Cruise specialists have been scrambling since, and they're struggling to make sense of it all. And I don't blame them. And I don't highlight this story to make light in any way. My heart truly goes out to the travel advisors, both in the Avoya network and outside of the Avoya network, who have lost precious time and commissions, and I'm sure plenty of sleep over these last 2 weeks. But I've personally spoken with many luxury advisors outside of the Avoya network, and many of them are feeling alone, kind of abandoned by their partners and host agencies in this crucial time. And alone might be a great way to spend a rainy Saturday night, but it's a horrible way to run a business. And one thing I can promise you is this: the members of the Avoya Travel Network, while they too feel the sadness and frustration from this Crystal situation, they do not feel alone. They have resources, they have coaching, they have colleagues and a community surrounding them, and they have a partner that's working at the highest levels to secure them other opportunities for their clients. All of it part of our shared success business model. And if you're ready to experience that level of elite support and stability, please reach out today to avoyanetwork.com and put in your request. In other news, two major associations from our travel industry, ASTA and the U.S. Trade Association, both made appeals this week to the Biden administration to follow the UK's lead on COVID testing for vaccinated inbound international travelers. The UK is set to drop testing requirements for all fully vaccinated adult travelers and all travelers under 18 years of age on February 11th. Both organizations have urged the U.S. to follow suit. Now, in a letter sent this week to the Biden administration from ASTA President Zane Kirby, Kirby said on the issue of inbound testing, the single biggest barrier to the full recovery of our international travel system, on which so many of our members and their clients rely on for their livelihoods, is the issue of testing. He went on to say that ASTA understands the rationale behind the inbound testing order, but he says it creates a potential financial and psychological burden for travelers worried they may get stuck and won't be able to return home. Currently, all inbound international travelers must present a negative COVID test taken no more than 24 hours prior to flight, plus be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 in order to enter the United States. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story. While 2021 was still a very trying time in the industry, it did have some bright spots and glimpses of the promise of better days. And Greece, certainly one of those bright spots. And as we like to say at Avoya Travel, the numbers don't lie. Greece officials this week projected a 4.5% to 5% increase in their total economy, and that is fully fueled by the strong comeback in the travel sector, which Greece so very much relies on. In a story out of Reuters this week, it was reported that the Greek think tank, the IOBE, sounds important, believes the Greece travel sector grew by a staggering 9 to 10%, with a 76% year-over-year growth from 2020 heights of the COVID lockdown. That was for last year. And it's forecasting that 2022 will see the Greek tourism sector account for 90% of the volume that they saw in their country in 2019, which was a record time for travel to Greece. Sounds like Greece will once again be a top travel destination for clients in 2022. You factor these kind of reports in with some of the glimpses of pent-up demand that we've seen, and I think you can easily see why, despite everything going on in the world, the future of leisure travel is expected to be very bright. And finally, hope you don't mind if we toot our own horn for just a second here at Avoya Travel. But Avoya Travel, one of the travel industry's most innovative companies, was awarded the 2022 Best Host Agency Supernova Award as part of the Host Agency Review's 2022 Luminary Awards last week. The Supernova Award honors agencies that have a 4.0 or higher average star rating and have received at least one new review in the previous year. Avoya has won the Supernova Award 4 consecutive years, and that's every year since the awards program inception. Avoya Travel is proud to offer and feature the best-in-class resources that make a true difference. The kind of resources that help you sell more, generate more commissions, stay more engaged with your client base, have fewer customer service issues, and of course, hit and elevate your agency goals. Combine that with our 30-plus year relationship with American Express Travel and how those benefits trickle down to the members of the Avoya network. And it's not too hard to understand why the Avoya Travel Network is known industry-wide for selling more and generating more commissions. And as always, my team would be more than happy to answer all of your questions, do a deep dive on the topic. And so we hope you put in that request today. Together, we can make 2022 a pretty amazing year. Are you ready to meet another amazing member of Team Avoya? I hope so, because I really love doing these features and love showing off just how deep our talent pool is at Avoya Travel. Every single employee at Avoya Travel is in some ways a resource for the Avoya network. No one that works directly for Avoya Travel sells travel. We don't compete with our affiliates for sales. We just support our network, and we do it with best-in-class resources like strategic partnerships with the industry's elite vendors, partnerships that allow our affiliates to generate more sales with core vendors their clients want to travel with. And today's guest, Sarah Rich, Strategic Partnerships Manager, is one of the leaders of that team, and we're excited to explore what industry-leading relationships can do for your agency. So let's welcome in our featured Meet the Team guest this week, Sarah Rich, Strategic Partnerships Manager for Avoya Travel. Sarah, great to see you. Thanks for your time, and welcome to On Deck with Avoya.
Thanks for having me. Sure happy to be here.
Absolutely. We're excited too. Sarah, before we jump into your role and some exciting things going on with strategic partnerships, can you first give us a bit of your background and how you ended up working with Avoya Travel?
Sure thing. Yeah. So I started in travel in 2008, and I worked for a student travel company. We were specializing in winter, graduation, and spring travel, organized trips all over the US at some amazing winter destinations. I got to travel around to various ski resorts, and I was looking for my next career move, saw Avoya Travel was hiring, and the rest is history.
Awesome. Good history for us, for sure. I always love to find out when I do these features when the travel bug started for people. Sarah, growing up, did you have a love of travel? Was it instilled at an early age, or was your love of travel something that you kind of discovered a little later on?
Yeah, so I grew up going to a small lake with my family in New Hampshire. My dad, my brothers, my mom, we all went out. My dad has a big history at this certain lake in New Hampshire. So 40 plus years he's going, bringing us. And so it was really special time to be able to visit that same lake every year. But my love of world travel, I would say, really kicked off after having a foreign exchange student from Germany. So of course, we went and visited her after we graduated high school, and my mind was blown that there was this huge world out there. We were with a local. She spoke fluent German, so we were in great hands. And every couple of years after that, we'd go back and forth and visit her, and kept knocking some big bucket list items off my list. So it was awesome.
Really amazing, right, Sarah, when you get a chance to connect with a different culture for the first time, just how much your eyes and mind are expanded about the world we live in.
It's awesome. And I mean, we were in such good hands. And every time we went without her, we needed her. We needed that missing piece to kind of open the door. So it was a great experience, and definitely can't wait to go back.
Absolutely, I bet. So Sarah, we all know how vital great partnerships are in the travel business, but tell me a little bit about your role as the strategic partnerships manager and how that has a positive impact on the Avoya Travel Network.
Sure. So my role specifically is really focused on fostering our relationships with our preferred suppliers. So working on areas that we can partner together, negotiating promotions, being a layer of escalation when we need to be an advocate for the Avoya network, sharing feedback from the independent agencies as well as internal departments is really important. My number one goal is to really ensure that we remain competitive in the market, and Avoya is a partner that our suppliers think of to come to first when rolling out new programs or need feedback. The phone really works both ways in that sense.
Yeah, it sure does. And especially when you consider that the last few years have been quite the roller coaster, to put it mildly, in the travel industry. Would you agree that relationships and partnerships are even more vital now than, say, just going back a couple of years ago before COVID?
Oh yeah, it's huge now more than ever in this current landscape. What I love about Avoya the most is these deep relationships with partners. Our history goes way back, and that's something that's super important, having that open line of communication to be able to share feedback and work really closely. So being able to pick up the phone, have a call with a partner, and have an open conversation is a key component in navigating these times. Doesn't mean we'll always get the answers we want or be able to change the policies that we want, but we always know that we're heard and we'll be an advocate for the Avoya network.
And it's something that's so hard to do just on an individual, smaller agency basis. This really is one of those resources that goes to the heart of why, whether it was Avoya Travel you wanted to join with your business or another host, making sure that you can have those little extra things that you need, and the ability for the vendor to actually answer the phone, call you back, engage in that level of conversation is so hard to duplicate on a smaller agency basis. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Absolutely. Our calls do not get screened. They know it's us. They know we'll come knocking, and it's a great feeling to be able to have that backing and just really strong, deep partnership.
Kind of follow up on that, Sarah, what are some of the latest initiatives that you and the team there at Strategic Partnerships are working on that you might be able to share with us today?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So our team is laser focused right now on getting our Avoya Access events and network engagement plans out to our preferred suppliers. So what that means is right now we're negotiating our events and getting a good mix of partners to actually come to our events and be engaged with the Avoya network. It's so important that these partners are joining, they show up, they're investing in the network and being able to arm the network with ways to better sell their product.
Yeah, and it goes to the heart of what we're going to talk about here at the end of your segment, which is our pre-Cruise 360 event, which again, we've been really working together with Strategic Partnerships and making sure that the right vendors are at that event, because we're really excited to be able to do this face-to-face event just before one of our industry's big events. So thank you to your team, and we're really looking forward to sharing details on that in just a few minutes too. Sarah Rich, Strategic Partnerships Manager for Avoya Travel, is our featured Meet the Team guest today. Sarah, one last question about you and your work role before we transition into a few fun questions. But I've personally been saying that we're in for a real golden period in travel. Once we can really get ahead of this COVID situation, whatever get ahead ultimately means. And given your unique position and your ability to have that open level of communication, and you interact so closely with the biggest names in leisure travel, what is your sense as far as like the near and the long-term future of leisure travel? Are you hearing positive things from our vendor partners?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a roller coaster. It's continued to change day by day, sometimes hour by hour, but the good thing is travel will always be around. The world is huge. There's so much to see, so many special life events that people want to do and maybe need to make up for. So that's super important. I know we all are trying to remain really optimistic, and I personally believe that we will continue to see demand pick up. We know many guests have future cruise and travel credits hanging around. We want to make sure they're taking advantage of those and really getting their vacation that they hoped for and longed for. So I would say both short-term and long-term, it's coming back. Just hang on and use up those credits because we want to get everyone on board and traveling. So
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody should get out there and see the world when they get a chance and they feel comfortable and things like that. So let's chat for a few minutes about you, the person outside of Avoya Travel. First off, a huge congratulations and virtual hugs, of course, from Florida to California on your upcoming wedding. I know that planning a honeymoon can be hard. Have you already made that decision about where you're going to go for the honeymoon, or is that still in the planning stages?
planning stages, it's a hot topic, need to really iron it out. It's coming up soon in September. So leaning towards Tahiti or the Maldives. Definitely want to go with a resort stay and just be able to unwind and enjoy those crystal blue waters and just decompress after throwing a huge event with our friends and family. So any tips or recommendations, I am open.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, having prior to my life here as working for Avoya, I was a travel advisor. And so having sent clients to both destinations, I don't think you can make a bad choice on that. I mean, overwater bungalow in Tahiti doesn't sound so bad. The Maldives and the color of that water sounds pretty, what's the ultimate decision do you think it's going to come down to? Flip a coin. One of you is going to be stronger willed than the other one.
Oh my gosh. Well, the flip a coin sounds dangerous just based on the football the last couple of weeks.
Right.
So maybe we have to find a better way. But yeah, I think we'll look at, price points, and then we'll also just maybe lean towards an all-inclusive and just not have to worry, So might have to phone a friend and just pull one out of a hat, but we'll see. I'm excited. I'll definitely keep you posted.
I mean, when in doubt, rock, paper, scissors has solved a lot of the world's problems, So and what a great story to tell years from now. How did you guys decide on where you're going on your honeymoon? We played rock, paper, scissors, and that's how we ended up going such and such location. But either way, it's really exciting times. What about favorite trips? I know you told me that you've been lucky enough to visit 13 countries so far. What's been your favorite place to visit so far, Sarah?
Oh man, hands down, our river cruise on AMA Waterways. We went on a Christmas market cruise in December 2019. Looking back, timing was incredible because fast forward to a couple months later, everything kind of shut down. So we did the Danube. We took a train from Nuremberg, Germany, down to Budapest. It's funny because we spent a couple days in Munich, which was incredible. We had to catch a train from Munich to Nuremberg. We missed our train because the tracks changed and we're just so early standing around. So we had a home alone moment running through the train station thinking, okay, that's it. Our cruise is over. We made it. It was incredible. We actually spent the holiday over Christmas on the cruise. So we were in Milk, Austria on Christmas Eve, Vienna by Christmas Day. It was stunning, incredible. I would go back again, and we set our Glühwein mugs out every year during Christmas, and it's so special to be able to remember the different ports we were in and have those mugs as decor. And thought, wow, we drink a lot of Glühwein because we have about 12 of these and they're all over the house. So it's really special, and we do decorate after Halloween, the first weekend of November. So we're those people and really get to enjoy the whole season with our lovely Christmas mugs.
Well, you can go from like the time that you were visiting Germany and maybe some beer steins that you have from those adventures. You can go Oktoberfest, right into Halloween, right into,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the whole like last quarter of the year covered.
Totally.
Anything on your future wish list other than that romantic honeymoon that you hope to visit here in the near future?
Yeah, so Japan is on our list. Been to Thailand and Indonesia, incredible countries, but really Tokyo looks incredible. So Japan's kind of where our head's at next, but maybe in a couple of years.
Sounds like an exciting time coming up for you. Sarah, one last question before we let you go. As a long time and a seasoned travel professional, what advice might you offer to someone who's just thinking of getting into the travel industry?
Yeah, so the travel industry is a special, special place. It takes a lot of hard work, but you are in good hands affiliating with Avoya. We have such talented and smart team members here and a really strong network of independent agencies that I've personally continued to see band together through these difficult times. I'm definitely more of a glass half full kind of girl. So when we get through these times, it's going to be an incredible time and business is really going to boom.
Well said. Sarah Rich, Strategic Partnerships Manager for Avoya Travel. Sarah, thank you so much for your time and for that great conversation today. And again, congratulations on your upcoming big day. So very, very happy for you.
Thanks so much. This was a lot of fun.
Great. Next week, we welcome back an old friend on deck with Avoya. Charles Sylvia, ECC Vice President of Industry and Trade Relations for CLIA, will be joining us for an Avoya Insider preview of Cruise 360, as well as some thoughts and advice on the current state of the industry. Charlie is always a great guest. He was one of our most well-received guests when we had him on in the past. And trust me, this is one you will not want to miss. That's next Thursday, normal time, 11:15 a.m. Pacific time, 2:15 Eastern time, here for On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. Okay, so speaking of Cruise 360, we're so excited to share details of our in-person networking event. It's going to be held at the Hilton Fort Lauderdale Marina. It's going to be on March 29th. It's pre-Cruise 360, just by a day. We hope you can join us for this special event. It's free and it's open to all. You can talk to members of the executive team. Senior Vice President Steve Hershan's going to be there. Vice President Skip Fortier is going to be there. I'll be there. We'll have Tammy Ritchie, Vice President of Network Engagement, is going to be there as well. We're going to have some of our top independent affiliates there. And then we were talking, of course, with Sarah from Strategic Partnerships, and we have lined up some of the best vendors in the industry for you to get a chance in a kind of a small group setting to network with them as well. So please, we're going to be dropping a link right here in comments on our Facebook Live chat for you to be able to register for that. Registration is going to close soon, so please register, and we would love to see you there again at the Hilton Fort Lauderdale Marina, March 29th, for an Avoya in-person networking event as we lead up to Cruise 360 2022. Okay, let's talk about some of the best-in-class resources that Avoya Travel offers. We have an amazing new to travel program. If you're just thinking of getting into our industry, we really do have a program that can help you lay the proper foundation and build up your business in the proper way to start to become an expert on the brands and the destinations and the things that you need through sales coaching, through our network enrichment team, through our true support, our technology is top notch. And of course, that goes the same thing for an experienced agent. Wherever you are in the journey, we've got a program to be able to meet you there. So gain access to marketing and technology support, education, and more. Build your business the way you want, and we'll help you with everything you need to grow that business. We're really excited about our track record, and obviously you can tell we're really excited about the future of the brand for Avoya Travel. So how do you get in touch with Avoya Travel? Pretty simple stuff. There's my email, chris.green@avoyatravel.com. You can give us a call. Of course, avoyanetwork.com is just a wealth of information on our program. I highly recommend you go there. We just want to hear from you. We want to have that conversation. We're really proud of what's going on. We're excited about what's coming down the pipe, and we're looking for people that are ready to engage and be part of this amazing industry, whether it's just a new opportunity, if you're new to the industry, or just a better place to call home. So again, thank you so much for making time to be part of today's program. A big thank you again to Sarah Rich from Strategic Partnerships and that great conversation. We look forward to having Charlie Sylvia next week from CLIA. A big thank you to Marissa Smith for doing a wonderful job handling everything in the background for our program. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks again, everyone.